Can you hit me up? Yeah. Okay, so welcome along to the 5-day LinkedIn challenge. We're going to be talking about strategy sessions today. But before we start, Laura, you got a share that you wanted to share with us to this morning. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everybody. It's quite nice to be in one place, not traveling.
Not in the US, not on a train.
Not on the train, not in the US, not on an overnight flight. So I'm back in the UK. Just to say, I've been a bit astounded by how well it's worked, actually. Similar to Brad, I kind of ummed and ahed over some people thinking, nah, they won't be interested. But I sent it anyway. I thought, stick with the program. And actually quite a lot of those, not for themselves, but they actually said, actually, I've got someone in my team who I think would be ideal for that. And they've made an appointment. So at the moment, I'm kind of slightly, not overwhelmed, but a bit astounded with the number of responses. I've got about 18 appointments in the next 2 weeks. So I keep thinking, should I stop now? What am I going to do?
No, don't never stop.
Yes, but it's been really good and very easy to follow the system. So I didn't do my nudges yesterday because I felt I just had enough at the moment.
Well, just remember, and yes, Judith, thank you. Yeah, round of applause there. I like doing a little round of applause. Fantastic work. Really good to get those sort of results. Just remember though that the nudges are there just to keep on filling the diary, right? And we want to keep on booking into the future. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having plenty of appointments in there. So nudge away, I say. Get in there.
Can I just ask one question, Richard, about nudges? What I found, not yesterday, the day before, was that after a lot of the people I was wanting to nudge, they'd got like a lock on their profile, and I couldn't just message them directly. It had a little lock sign. And I didn't know what that was. So I just clicked to connect with them because I couldn't actually go straight to giving them a message, but I didn't know whether it's because I'd sent so many messages. I have no idea.
No, I don't think so. I think obviously there's connection messages. So they're just connections. They're part of your 20s. So you should be connecting with them. Maybe, and actually I have to say, I'd have to look at it because it's not something that I've come across, probably because I use automation to automate the whole of this process out. So I'm not actually looking at it from a manual point of view. Every day we're looking in the tools, which is some of the stuff that we talk about inside our accelerator. But I imagine that they're probably looking at it in terms of in-mails, and because you can't in-mail someone that is not a connection of yours. So if it's a lock profile, it's probably something to do with that. But if you're still able to send connection requests, then that means that you haven't reached any sort of stop. LinkedIn will message and say, it'll be a pop-up to say, we've frozen your account for 24 hours because you sent too many connection requests or whatever it is. That tends to only happen if you're really spamming it. What we're learning here in terms of the system of 20 a day keeps you nicely underneath the radar, right? So you should be safe as houses, but you will be told by LinkedIn and your account will be frozen for 24 hours. It's not like you're going to get kicked out of LinkedIn, and it's not like 3 strikes and you're out and all that sort of stuff. It just will kind of give you a little slap on the wrist, and then in 24 hours time you better use it again. So but don't worry, because everything we're doing today is to surf nicely underneath that, because of course LinkedIn is there to actually connect with people, right? So we're not really doing anything wrong. We're just systematically making LinkedIn work for us. Good. So on that ilk, and by the way, congratulations, go nudge away, I reckon. So let me just share screens and just go through where we are today. Hello everybody on the live there. So day 5 of the challenge, the last day. Let's just recap on yesterday. Remember, yesterday we covered this nudge campaign, as Laura very kindly referenced in her question there. So the actions were, again, to do your nudges to your 80 people that we first outreach to on Tuesday, right? And so today's actions are going to be very similar to this. So just by showing you yesterday's actions, it is the same set of actions today, because today we want you to nudge all the people that you outreach to on Wednesday. So we did our first set of 80 on Tuesday. So we then nudging them yesterday, Thursday. We're going to do our second set of nudges to the people that we outreach to on Wednesday. So we're nudging those, which completes our 160 people for the week. Remember, next week, the system is Monday, Tuesday, we open it up with outreach messages. Wednesday, we just do our connection requests. We don't do any first degree outreaches. Thursday, we nudge. Friday, we nudge, right? Cool. Okay, and remember to fill in your new and shiny LinkedIn dashboard, which we covered yesterday. Great, so look at this. So Laura, obviously you were very kindly talking about your 16 calls. You say you're up to 18 now, 2 invitations to speak to a group as well. Fantastic results. David got his 100 done in there as well. David, you're on the call. How are you getting on, David?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Richard. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
Oh yeah, I'm doing multiple things. Yeah, so yeah, no, doing okay. What I used to do was I used to contact people, and when they connected with me, I just invited them to my group. So I think what you said the other day was that's a little bit too passive. So whilst I'm not trying to force a sale on people, it's just I'm treating it as I want to have that conversation with them. And if they're open to have that conversation, obviously they're booked a call. Therefore, I'm just trying to see how I can serve them better. So I've just reframed it in my mind like that. And then my second campaign to people, if they don't respond, is I offer them some free CV advice, or I invite them to the group. So I'm going to drip it down that way, if that sounds a better approach.
Fantastic. Yeah, that is exactly by giving extra value as you're going. If and when people starting to reply, really, really exciting stuff. So great. 4 calls booked as well. The 2 that you had, how did they go?
They were good. But yeah, that's something, because I'm not a salesman, so I wasn't trying to specifically sell them on that call. So that's why I was wondering whether you cover that today.
Yes.
Because I just tried to find out more information about them. I always sort of say to them, I don't want to overwhelm them with the products and services I've got, but if you like to have the information faster, I can send you all the information. And I basically just tell them what I recommend the next step is, which is to do one of my lower paid for services to build trust. I just say to them, I want you to build trust with me, and then build up from there. Because I haven't got my unique product. I'm on dense SUA at the moment, so I'm still building that remarkable solution at the moment. So I've just got intermediate products just to basically serve them and get some money coming in.
Like it. Okay, well, look, I'm going to be talking about a little bit about the flagship product today. So that should maybe help you to kind of really inspire you to get that full and remarkable solution sorted. Good. Awesome, David, as well. And just for speed, I'll just kind of paraphrase because I was talking to Ian as well. So Ian's had some great responses. He had 3 replies, no calls yet, but 1 hot lead, which is great. Plus that told him, we've seen that in the chat, that he's slightly tweaking his audience to be able to get into them more. So some good early signs from Ian as well in there. It can be done, gang. It can be done. That's the whole point. So today we're going to cover this piece, which is the strategy session, which is what we were just discussing there. David was talking about what does this call look like? Remember, we preceded it to people. We're saying we want to show them our product. So we're going to be actually talking about the strategy session today. And there's no better way, I don't think, than me showing you the strategy session than for me to give you a quick I say a quick demonstration. I'm going to put you through a strategy session. I'm going to put you through my strategy session, and I'm going to show you how one works. And remember, the whole thesis around this is about when you speak to people, by asking them to find out where they are now, to see where they want to be in 12 months from now, and then to show your solution and to add value between those 2 places. And once you show those solutions, add value between those places, you have the opportunity then to be able to pitch your services to people. So this is what we're going to be going through today. So we're going to give you, so look, can feel this, right? Feel this strategy session as we go through it. I've done this lots of times, so I'm going to give you some value today, but it is also going to be part of a strategy session. And I will be showing you a pitch at the end of it as well, right? Which will be my pitch. So it's kind of like this kind of divergence, like you're experiencing something whilst learning something at the same time, right? As part of being something at the same time, right? So because there's a few of us in here, when you're doing group strategy sessions like this, what you do is you start to actually say to people, hey, look, in the chat now, I'd love to start to know, and actually audience participation, please. In 12 months time, I want you to all get out your magic wand, right? Hold your magic wand, okay, in your hand. And I want you to wave it and work out where would your business get. Go on, Brad. I'd like to know, where would your business be in 12 months from now in a perfect world? And I want to phrase that for you. So as you put it in the chat, you know, how big would your team be? What your revenue would be? What would you be selling? Who would you be selling to? So very quickly, just a few bullet points into the chat. I'd love you to start banging them in now. Okay. So start thinking about that 12 months goal. So just start sticking something to the chat. If you're out on the phone, you can feel free just to put a sentence in there, just logging something into this chat so we can see what your goals are and aspirations are for 12 months from now. And then we'll start to call some out. Most people, when they think about 12 months journey, they really start to think about the bigger picture for their business. Why are they doing this? What is possible? And we really want to start thinking about that. So fantastic. So Ice is talking about 100K, having a team, selling to high ticket leaders, have 2 travels. I love that, to the Maldives and Lapland, and more family time. Love that. Great objectives. I just think someone is hang on, let me just quickly look as you're putting those in. I think I'm just going to mute Nick. I think Nick was there. Okay, so so Judith, 7K revenue partner and marketing admin. I love it. Between 100 and 300 clients, working with clients between 100 and 300 employees. I thought you wanted 100 to 300 employees there. I thought, wow. 28 was the most that I had in the marketing agency, and that was mental. So 100 to 300 would be difficult. So 6 figures income in there. So some really great, exciting places for you guys to be. So really thinking about this 12-month target. Now I'd like you to kind of think about, well, look, where are you starting from? Where are you starting from now? So you don't have to talk about revenue figures, etc., because I know that we're a group, but start thinking about, well, look, who are you serving now? What products do you have? So add that into the chat. So what are you selling at the moment? What products do you have? And where are you now? You know, so let's just start thinking about where you're starting from, really kind of logging that in there. So John's regular income in there. So we got Claire here, no goals, but looking to spend more time on the road in Trevor. Yes. Okay, I love that. Good stuff. Okay, so we got some nice starting points here. People starting from the start, and also people starting from a bit of a running start there. Fantastic. Okay, so now we know kind of where we are now and where we want to be. Let's start thinking about, well, what are we going to do to help you to get from this current location to that 12-month target. So let's start working that. Okay. Look, when I started my business growth journey, I also started from a flat start. I was just a one-man band. I came out. My first business was an import business from China and India, actually failed. And I transitioned into being a freelance graphic designer. I then grew that freelance graphic design business out into business, as I said, with 28 staff, my digital marketing agency, over $1 million in revenue, and sold it. And we did that because we really focused on just selling one thing. I then transitioned out of that business after flogging it into a client business that was going under, unfortunately for them, which was a boiler servicing business. And I brought the assets out of the receiver, and then I scaled that business from the 3 vans that you see there in terms of me shaking the hands of Alex and growing to 7 vans and 7 engineers on the road and over $1 million in revenue, and sold that as well. And that's because we focused on really one thing, which was boiler servicing, and scaled that, whereas the previous owner was trying to do commercial jobs, domestic jobs, loads of different stuff, right? So the kind of power of one has been my aha moment, and the solution when we're thinking about how you guys can get to your 12-month target is one of the really important things you got to think about. Now, we have in this challenge been working on awareness at the top. We are building awareness, we're finding our target market, and we're getting into awareness, right? And then we're moving people straight to convert. So we talk about actually having the power of one really great place to build awareness. So my big mantra is, don't try and be on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, God knows where else you can dance a funky chicken and try and get leads, right? Don't need to be on all of those. The power of one. Think about how deep you could go on LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn groups, you can have LinkedIn outreach, you can have LinkedIn newsletters, you can have LinkedIn articles, LinkedIn posts, all the DM outreach that we've been doing, right? Same goes for Facebook. If Facebook is more your flavor, then think about Facebook groups, Facebook outreach. You could be doing Facebook lives. You could be, God knows what else you could be doing on Facebook, right? The depth you can go on these platforms is amazing. And the people that go deep and not wide are the people that are the thought leaders, the people that everybody gravitate to in there. So if you're spending light touch on lots of different social platforms, you're not going deep on one, you're not gathering the momentum that you should be, right? So hence why we love the power of one place where people really get awareness, one place you go wide, right? Deep. But I have helped you to bypass consideration today, guys. But lots of you will start to realize that this is a bit of a one shot, or maybe twice a year in terms of straight to the point, because you can't keep on hitting people up with a straight to the point. So we have to do something to warm up our audience so we gather up the rest of them, because not everybody is ready to jump on a call with you. Some are. That's why we've been successful, right? And we need to have this consideration asset. And that consideration asset is by having one thing that you do each week. We call it our weekly moment. I'll be going to deep dive on it a little bit later, but one moment every single week that you get people to gravitate towards to warm them up, so then they are ready to go and buy from you. So one place to get people aware of you, one social media channel, one weekly moment where you warm people up, and then one sales process, one sales meeting that you ask people to come along to, right? The power of one. And we're going to really build, we're going to unpick this over the next sort of 20 minutes, okay? So to start off with, step one, we want to solve the pain and do it well within the solution scales. There's 8 steps, by the way, guys, that I'm going to take you through in terms of the way that we're going to get you to that 12-month target, okay? So step one is that we want you to solve a pain and do it well with a solution that scales. What do I mean by that? If you have multiple products, this was the issue that I had. Oh, let me just clear this. There's one I made earlier. Clear this and then go up to a sensible size. Let's go down a little bit. Okay, so if you are trying to do this classic kind of bronze, silver, oh, rainbow pen, I love that. That's awesome. And gold type mix, okay? Lots of people have this ascending transaction ladder that they try and get their clients to go up. And they give some free stuff here, and then they do like a £49 thing here, and then a £297 here, and then a 5K thing here, and then they might try and have their 15 or 18K thing in here. What happens is people bounce onto your free stuff, buy your 49 quid thing, think, oh, that didn't quite work, buy your 297 thing and go, well, it's not really working, then spin off, and then they go buy the 10K thing from someone else over here. That's what I see all the time on the digital marketing circuit, because what most gurus have done, guys, is they sold their one-to-one services first. Right? They sold high ticket first. They got really busy. So then they created these things as down sales. And then what they realize is they look, oh, didn't that look really good? And then they tell people, they pitch it to people like it's an upsell. And it's not true. They started all here and then they built this as down sales, right? So unless you are absolutely getting inundated with people wanting to buy your high ticket item, then you shouldn't be doing other sort of down sells, because it's taught wrong. It's not actually how all the gurus work. It's not how I started out. It's not how, lots of other people that you'll see how started out, right? The best thing to do is to cancel this and to not go after this to start off with. When you're first starting out, do what I call F2F, and that's not face-to-face. That is blow their minds with free and then sell them one solution, the flagship product. Okay, excuse my writing. Okay, so the flagship product, right? Sell them one solution. Don't sell them a load of different solutions. Sell them the solution. Remember, power of one: awareness, consider, convert, deliver is the solution. Because you get all the time, you put lots and lots of effort into getting people into your funnel. Sell them the best thing that you can, the full and remarkable way of them solving the pain. Because when people buy something, they buy a result. Okay, I want to buy a result from you. When I had my marketing agency, they wanted to buy more leads. When they want to buy from John, they want to buy better mental health. They want to feel happy again. Okay. When they were buying from my boiler servicing, they wanted to buy peace of mind, knowing what the result is that people buy from you, and then working that back as a system to where they are now is how you develop a flagship product. And by understanding where people are now and where they want to be, that's why we say to people, where are you now and where do you want to be in 12 months time? What's the result that people want to buy? For me, people want to buy business growth. They want to buy a business that's turning over $1 million in revenue, because I take people from some money to $1 million in revenue. That's what my whole result is. So the result is getting people to that $1 million in revenue target, right? And so therefore, everybody should have these steps on their little journey, 5 steps to be able to get from where they are now to where they want to be in the future, right? So when I was marketing agency, it would be like, well, let's review your marketing, let's set up a landing page, let's run some ads, let's get some social media going, bam, bam, bam. We then get you to leads, right? You will have a similar result. That, my friends, is your flagship product. You sell the result to people. They justify by seeing the journey. That journey map becomes the deliverable. That deliverable becomes your flagship product. That's how you create a scalable solution, right? Cool. So step 1, solve a pain and do it well with a solution that scales. Step 2, excuse me, find and hang out with the people that you solve a pain for, your audience. You have been doing that this week. You've been searching for them on LinkedIn. You've been connecting with them. You've been hanging out with them, right? We then need to take them to step 3, which is to create a place for them to hang out with you, because if they are owned on LinkedIn and LinkedIn then decides to kick you off, or there's an issue with LinkedIn or whatever it is, you lose your opportunity database. So we have to siphon that audience. We have to get them into your database. And there's some clever ways that we can do this, because I'm going to mix this with step 4, which is to over deliver value for free pre-sale. This is about the weekly moment. So let me just show you the strategy that I want you to all start to build. And the game plan here is that you're finding these lovely people on LinkedIn, okay? Could be on Facebook, by the way. You can go into Facebook groups. You can find people on there. Facebook is your audience, right? We're then sending them connection requests, okay? So we are now finding them. We're hanging out with them, right? Once they do connection requests, we can then start sending them these lovely direct messages, okay? Now, some of those direct messages were straight to the point, and that went straight into strategy sessions, okay? Awesome. But not everybody's going to hit you up with that. So some of these DMs need to then start going into what we call that weekly moment, that event that you might be running, or that podcast that you might do, or that YouTube video that you might put out, that piece of thought leadership each week that you put out, right? Now, the beautiful thing about this is when someone connects you on LinkedIn, we can actually use something called Zapier to be able to zap them automatically into your email sequence as well. And once they're into your email sequence, you can then start sending them a series of emails, also inviting them along to the weekly moment. And this can be done automatically. So you're connecting with people that then automatically is dropping them into email sequences, that's automatically then getting them along to your weekly moment. And of course, in the weekly moment, after the end of each piece of thought leadership, you're inviting them into your strategy session. Remember, we're over delivering value for free pre-sale. Let me just kind of put some meat on the bone in terms of that weekly moment, okay? Now, a weekly moment is a 45-minute session. Mine's called the Marketing Roundtable. I do it every Wednesday morning, except for when I'm running a challenge like this. And you do the first 5 minutes of just Q&A and saying hello to people. Then you do 20 minutes worth of leadership in there, 15 to 20 minutes worth of leadership. So you add some value in there. And then you do Q&A, because you want to be able to warm to people. Because when everybody's trying to make a big buying decision, they're looking for a few things. They're looking for leadership, they're looking for community, they're looking for routine, and they're looking for personalization. This helps people to get into the center to really be able to be in a position to buy from you. Why? Because I go from not knowing anybody that is the person that I want to follow to be able to help solve this problem, to finding you and I really love what you're saying, to not knowing anybody else who's got the pain that I've got, to finding a room full of people that are all in the same tribe as me. And actually, I feel like I'm in the right room. From going from not really knowing any generic advice out there and seeing lots of YouTube videos and not really talking to me, to getting personalized advice from someone, and from sporadically trying to solve this pain to making a habit of it, right? So because it's weekly, it's routine, right? So I can pop in and see it weekly, right? Because there's a Q&A, you can answer personalized questions with me, and I can see other people in the community in that Q&A. So I know I'm in the right room. You've already given me leadership within there. And so therefore this entire transition works amazingly well, because I now get to the stage where I'm in the center at the end of each of these sessions. So what am I going to do? I'm going to book that strategy session with you so you can then show me more and I can consider buying from you, right? So you can see how that works. You can really transition people in terms of the audience in their mind. Cool. So now we know we want to do a weekly moment. Remember, these can be podcasts, these can be videos, these can be events. Okay. I personally do events, right? So if you know that you're going to be doing a weekly moment, then you can have this wonderful thing called a 13-week cycle. Why 13? Because 13 times by 4 equals 52 weeks, right? So we run this 4 times a year, the same events, the same content, the same information. Why? Because I can't even remember what I did at the weekend, let alone 14 weeks ago, okay? So your audience will be the same. And if anybody lingers for more than 13 weeks in your cycle, then they weren't going to buy from you in the first place. So it's no worries, okay? So we know now we want to do 13 different subjects. How do we come up with those 13 subjects? Well, you remember that winding road from where they are now to the result that you got? You just simply pick a couple of subjects within each one of those stages, and you then present that, because remember, it's only 15 minutes. So you can't present enough to give away your whole game plan, but you can give enough to show them that you know what you're talking about, right? So you work out 13 themes, and those 13 themes become the weekly themes for your business. Now that's cool, because if you know what the themes are, not just for the 13 weeks, but basically for 2-3 years, because you just regurgitate the same stuff over and over, because you're just putting new people into the funnel with that LinkedIn model, and then new people are seeing it for a first time every time, right? So you get amazing at delivering 13 different subjects, right? So it's an event series. Now, once you know that you've got 13 that you're focusing on, the cool thing is you can then start to design your week, because on Wednesday, you're going to do your weekly moment, right? And that means that you can actually go, okay, right, I'm going to do this theme this Wednesday. On Monday, we do an engagement creator. Why do we do engagement creator? Because it spikes the algorithm. So you get lots of people engaging your post. And then on Tuesday, you then promote the weekly moment. So all of these people that you've spiked the algorithm will see this post and then go and book. But you can also DM all these people and say, hey, thanks for engaging on this post, like a poll, etc. I'm going to give you a live demo of this in a second. Then they can say, well, look, come along to this event, or here's the recording, or here's the podcast episode. Cool. Then on Thursday, we do Who Wants to Replay Thursday. And you say, hey, did you miss this session? Who wants to replay? Now, the call to action on the replay and the weekly moment, again, is both into strategy sessions. So you're booking your strategy sessions at the back of this. And then because you've got strategy sessions being booked, then what you do on Fridays, you do a credibility post, like you share a win, because you want these people to see this and go, okay, this is lots of credibility. So when they do the strategy session, they're already seeing you as a thought leader, right? So Monday, engagement creator, Tuesday, promo, Wednesday, weekly moment, Thursday, replay, Friday, share a win. Now that becomes a project management system. Okay. So let me just dive into our Trello board. And so this is our 13-week cycle, gang, right? So our 13-week cycle looks like this, and you've got week 1 to week 13 here, right? So different subjects. So for example, week 1 for us is LinkedIn organic lead generation, right? It's a masterclass. And so if I go into this session, you'll see here, this is a card that's a project manages exactly what to do on Monday. Why is this important? Because once you've done this once, you can then outsource this to a team member that then distributes it for you, and it's hands-free, right? And it gets done all for you. So you can see, look, here's a post in here, week 1, you can see all the post text, like this is the question to use, the hashtags, the post text, the comment, the first comment, the reply to voters saying, hey, why don't you come along to our event on Wednesday? And this is an example. So this is the post that we put out on this Wednesday LinkedIn session. And you will see here, 219 votes. So fascinating to see if people see LinkedIn as their primary platform. Got a load of engagement. Then I invited all these people along to the Wednesday session, and therefore that built my audience for my weekly moment. If I had a YouTube video, I'd DM them all with a video link, so I'd get my audience views up, etc. This is your opportunity, right? So it works really nicely. Then on Tuesday, you've got things like you would put the card in. This would be the email that you'd send out on Tuesday to your audience to get people along to it. Wednesday, you've obviously got the weekly moment. Thursday, the replay post. So it can be something as simple as this. This is all templated out, so it just gets done for you. So you just rock up to the actual event, or you just produce one piece of content and the entire distribution is done for you. This is the example of the Thursday replay. Look, ultra actionable LinkedIn session today. Who wants the replay? And look, 31 comments, LinkedIn, people asking for the replay, right? In there, right? So you can start to see, oh, hello. I don't know why that's doing that. So you can start to see all of this working in unison for you. So you are getting the entire content calendar distributed after you've done it once, and you are just building leads, building momentum. Because what do we want to achieve, gang? These are the figures that we want to achieve. We want to achieve 30. Oh, let me just get my pen going. 30, 20, 5, 2. That's 30 bookings onto your weekly moment. That's 20 attendees onto your weekly moment. That's 5 strategy sessions. And then that's 2 sales, 30, 25, 2. If you are doing this as a podcast or a YouTube video, you just add a 0 to this, right? Because you want to have 300 views to be able to get your strategy sessions onto it. But ultimately, when you're doing live events, 30 bookings equals 20 attendees equals 5 strategy sessions equal 2 sales a week. That's your rhythm, 30, 25, 2, 30, 25, 2, 30, 25, 2. So let me just check back to our 5-day plan. So that's how you over deliver value for free pre-sale, okay? Then after that, hello, we've gone past step 1. You have a high converting sales process. So as you can see, as we're talking about today, you have a common set of deliverables for your strategy sessions. You roll out the same strategy session over and over and over. By having that, you get good at it and you refine it and perfect it over the time. So knowing what your system is for your strategy session, I think David was talking, I didn't quite know how to make a sales conversation happen, the rest of it. By actually processing and documenting it, you then are able to roll it out over and over, and you never worry when you have something in the diary because you just roll out that same deliverable, okay? Then step 6, crank up the volume through paid ads, because once you know how to get people into your system and to be able to get strategy sessions, to be able to get sales, then you can use automation and ads. So automation on your LinkedIn outreach, you can use ads on your Facebook, or even ads on YouTube to be able to generate more traffic, more views, and therefore more sales and more strategy sessions off the back of it. Step 7, penultimate session, you then bring a VA in to help to distribute this, right? So we talked about the concept of having just someone working a couple of hours a day, 5 days a week, to send out each one of those bits of content on those cards, right? So those cards are little project briefings to the VA that's going to take this over from you. So step 7 is you recruit that person and they start distributing this. Step 8, and the final step, is you implement a profit system and start to accumulate founder wealth alongside company growth. And this is just an important point to make, that as you start to grow and make income, you want to have a position where you are actually personally taking out of the business as much as you grow, the percentage goes up. So I'll just quickly show you this. So as people work with us, they'll all be VAT registered very soon. So you'll be taking 120% into your income account, right? So immediately you take 20% out, you stick it over to your VAT, and that gives you 100% in your income account, right? Then from there, you distribute this out to different bank accounts. So you have an operational expenses account, and Matt expands the room that you give it. So you only give 30% for your operational expenses, which means that you don't overspend. You restrict your spending down to that, because you're going to put 15% into a tax account in there. That's going to pay corporation tax. It's also going to contribute towards your personal income tax. You're going to keep 5% as retained profit. Okay, so retained profit into your business rainy day account, sorts out stuff in case the proverbial hits the fan, right? And then you're going to have your your owners, I don't know what that is about, owners comp, and that is your bit, okay, which is the 50%. Okay, so 50% goes into you. Now, that means that the business is making 55% profit, which means you'll be taking corporation, or you have to pay corporation tax on this stuff, right? And that means that you're not taking 50% home after tax. But the people that would have done this before would seem VAT. You don't actually pay 20% VAT because you're reclaiming some of this VAT. So it only works out to be about 13%. So you pay yourself the 7% as an extra dividend to be able to pay your income tax. But also your tax here is 15% of 100%. Actually, you'd only be paying 19% corporation tax on the 55% here. So you'll also have about a 7% excess in here as well, which you pay yourself as dividend to pay your personal income tax. So those 7%, those 14% of the entire turnover of your business will then help to contribute. So you take home 50% after tax. That, my friends, is how you grow your founder wealth alongside company growth, because that's so important, right? Cool. So that's the 8 steps. Let me just recap those for you. Solve a pain and do it well within the solutions at scale. So your flagship product. Hang out with your people using the tactics that we've been talking about over the 5 days. Then create a place for them to hang out with you and over deliver that value for pre-sale using your weekly moment. Create a high converting sales process so it's repeatable and perfectible, and then crank up the volume through the paid ads and automation. So you just start to really give an abundance of inquiries. Get a team in place to be able to help you with it, and then implement a profit system to help you accumulate founder growth with company wealth. Cool. So before I ask that question, how can we be of help? Any questions on the 8 steps from you guys here today? Cool. Brad, yeah, okay, good stuff.
Can I just ask Richard quickly on the 13 subject themes, which is your cycle going round? So there's 13 different themes repeated 4 times a year on a rolling cycle. Okay, and those 13 themes come from, if you like, knowing what the pain or the problem is of your ideal client.
Exactly. And the steps to be able to get there. So what people might have is, say, a 6-step system. So they'll do 2 subjects within each one of those steps, and then the 13th one will be the entire journey that will be one. So one of my 13-week cycles is the 8 steps to $1 million in revenue. So I actually do the as an entire process. And then of course, I cover off each one of my 8 steps kind of in different ways within the way that I work, right? Does that make sense? Cool. David asks, I know Zapier, how did you mention it being used? Basically, we're zapping new connections from LinkedIn into our email software, and then we're sending them emails. Okay. So it's kind of done through an automation through that. Cool. Okay, so let me just kind of address this. So we have a journey map, as you might expect. So our journey to help our clients get to $1 million in revenue is this. We want to get you to the Hall of Fame, 84K per month. When people start with us, they start with us in the preliminaries, and then we help them to be able to build out the info swap. That's people registering for their weekly moment, generate the traffic. That's the LinkedIn tactics, the paid ads traffic, formalize the sales process, and then launch your flagship product. Okay, so you're going to be starting to get 5K per month. Between 5 and 10K per month, it's about optimizing that traffic, delighting people with your flagships, you get more referrals, nailing your sales process, you perfect your conversion rate, and then grow your audience. So it's about a lot of optimization work. Between 10K and 20K, it's when you're starting to recruit that prospector in, you're starting to work the automation sides in, right? And there's different stuff to get you from, to the gold medal race, 40K per month, and then getting into the Hall of Fame. A lot of it's around process, removing yourself from the cog, adding other team members in, etc. Right? So the process is laid out there, and that's our journey map to help people to get there. And this is how we can coach people. How we go deliver that is that, first of all, we have a race strategy session. So it's 1-to-1 with you and I, and we build out a journey map like this. So this is one that I did with Ada and Andrea. They're a business coaching duo, and they did they're doing LinkedIn outreach, a 5-day rhythm. They're going to weekly moments. They've got a warming up email sequence. They're duplicating their weekly moment as a YouTube channel and a podcast. They're working their strategy session, and they got to build out a landing page. They're going to work decision calls and go on onboarding page. So we've highlighted the entire plan together, and we draw this thing out in a creative session. So you've got the exact plan on what you want to work on. Then we set time for success. So we ask you to time block out in your diary an hour a day to work on it. So you've got that feel from what you've been seeing over this week about that $1 million hour. So we want to continue that habit for you to build out this funnel. 3, we then set up a growth project management system. So I absolutely love this. So this is a Trello board that we set up for your growth. Let me just show you. Come on. So we have all of our event themes that you could be doing, from things like 5-day challenges to webinar marketing to Facebook ads, etc., on the left hand side. But if they're not in the current funnel that we've designed together, which we would have as a screenshot in here, then they stay on the left hand side under not this funnel. We then agree what your funnel is for the first go at this. So it might be sort of 4 or 5 months you're going to build out that funnel, and then we put what you're going to do in awareness, consider, convert, and deliver. So awareness would be things like LinkedIn prospecting, right? So in LinkedIn prospecting, you've got things like building out profiles, getting your headlines sorted, getting your connection messages out, etc. And the beauty of this is that you can click on these links here. It will take you to the training on exactly what to do and how to do these tasks, right? So we'll see here that I'm just discussing about how to do connect a message on LinkedIn. You then start to see, well, actually, well, I want to do this by a certain date. So I can go, well, I want to get this done by Monday, and I can set a task for Monday. And then I can also assign it to myself or a team member to be able to get the work done. So you can start to see dates and time. And when it's done, we can start to go through and we can tick these things off, and you can see we're 100% through. So we are project managing your success for you. When it comes to something like the weekly moment, you can click onto this page. And the beauty of this is it doesn't just have all the to-dos and the training, but it also has swipe files with 13 pages worth of social media posts and email templates for you just to copy and paste and use yourself to be able to get people along to your weekly moment. Let me just load it up. There we go. So you can see here, this is social media posts. These are just 13 pages worth of email copy. So apart from me standing behind you, actually clicking the button and actually doing it, it's pretty much there done for you, right? It's just exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, right? So this is what to do, how to do it, and then when to do it. You've got the lovely calendar. If you wanted to as well, you can look in the calendar view here, so you'll be able to go onto here and see, right, these are the things I'm going to do in my $1 million hour, and you can plot them out, and you can actually see what you've plotted out for other people as well. So it works really, really nicely just to handhold and project manage exactly. I think half the time on a lot of these accelerators, you're not really sure what to do and when to do it. This exactly tells you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, right? Good stuff. Okay, so then not only do you get that project management system, you also get that 13-week cycle template. So I'll give you an exact copy of my 13-week cycle, and you go in there and you edit it and you add your stuff in, right? So you then have your 13-week project management Trello board as well set up, looking perfect. I then support by having daily drop-in clinics. So between 10 and 11 every single day, people drop into my Zoom and ask me questions, share screens. We look over landing pages, we look over email copy, we go and help with any of the technical, automations. We look at ads. We go through all of those in the daily track session. So I'm there for you every single day if you need help. Then we've got an amazing community. It's called our Athletes Village. It's our Facebook group. We ask you on Monday, what's the 3 things you're going to do? So we call it 3 Things Monday. We check in with you on Wednesday personally to say, hey, how are you getting on with the 3 things? And if there's any way we can help, we can offer further suggestions. And then we have a Friday Finishers Club where we all celebrate getting our 3 things done. So those tick lists, the to-dos, those little to-do boxes on that Trello board, those are your 3 things. And then you say, I'm going to do that, that, and that. And then we can celebrate getting them done, right? And then finally, just to reiterate, I am your sprint coach. It is me that is there for you every single day. The only exception is Thursdays, where we have Anthony Steers. He's the telephone assassin. He's our sales mentor. He helps people to be able to close more deals. Obviously, I love answering sales questions as well, but it's quite nice to give a couple of different opinions in there. So he really helps in there as well. But it is me there 90% of the time. And it works. These are some fantastic people that are winning 8K, 9K in the deal. I love this one for Lilac, who sold her first program, 3K. Now she's got to build it. So it's kind of like selling the program before you're building it. Gokai going from 1 man to a whole team there in terms of his PT business. This is selling on his 2nd ever weekly moment. This is Colin, who's got an app business. These are our Hall of Famers, people getting into the $1 Million Hall of Fame and getting their trophies. So they're doing really well and delighted with that. So gang, the road is laid out ahead of you. The load is laid out ahead of you. We got the system. So apart from the big question, which is, how much does it cost? Does anybody have any questions at this stage about what the $1 Million Sprint is all about? Cool. So money wise, I've got a number of different bonuses for people that are on this challenge. Okay. So the first thing for me is just to reiterate that one-to-one kickoff session is with me. Just, it's always with me, but just to reiterate that is a one-to-one session with me. I will also, on top of that, set up your LinkedIn automations for you when you're ready and give you one-to-one training on how to manage it going forward, right? So that I will set all that up for you personally, and I'll train you on how that happens. I will also personally set up your automatic email funnel so you get more people onto your weekly moment as well, and you add people into your funnel. So I'll personally set that up with you. You'll get all those plug and play templates, those Trello boards, those marketing and sales assets as well. And the final thing that I'm throwing in is a full demo and swipe files on how I ran this challenge as well, because a number of people come off this going, I'd love to be able to do this challenge, this 5-day challenge and work it in a similar way to Richard. And so I give you the entire how-to guide in terms of running a 5-day challenge. So those are the kind of special offers that you get on top of our normal offer. Now, normally for a 12-month, you could spend 24 to 36K. I have done 2K per month, 3K per month for a 12-month accelerator, and it doesn't give you anywhere near the amount of value that I've given, that I've put in part of this accelerator. So our normal price is $997 plus VAT for the 12-month accelerator. It's the 12-month program, right? So you get the whole thing for 12 months. But because we want to reward decisive action, and we're doing an offer just for this week, the cost that we are doing is we're cutting it in half, 50% off. So $4,997 plus the VAT. VAT is the special offer. It's all paid for up front. It's paid for, straight off. That's an entire year. Now, the kicker, here's the final piece of value. People who join today and joining this week, this is what the deal is, get the entire rest of this year for free. So your actual product is the end, the starts and ends in the 1st of January 2023, right? So you get the entire 2023 plus the rest of this year for that one-off price. So what it gives us is the ability for us to have those one-to-one sessions, to have the automations all set up, to have you rocking and rolling, and to have you launching your new flagship product at the start of January, which is a perfect time to launch your product, all for free. And then you get the entire next year as part of this price. So you don't, you wouldn't even, you would be a member until the 1st of January 2023. You're welcome to stay on further after that. It'll be paid for, but you get the entire time for that. So that, my friends, is it. Now, there is a Friday deadline. There's a deadline today for this offer. We don't keep it open. This is not something that is there for everybody to have constantly. So let me just put that into the chat in there. So that is a landing page in there. And on that page is further information on the accelerator. And the guys that were on the session on Wednesday, obviously had a couple more days to kind of go through this. But today is the day. Friday is the day that this offer finishes. So $4,997 plus VAT. You can see in here, and you just click this button, become a sprinter, and you paid. There is no contracts, and so therefore it is a one-off payment. Cool. Yes, and John says you mean January 2024. Crikey, yeah. So it's the 1st of January 2024 that this membership will take you up to. So we will be doing a growth journey together. Imagine that, gang. All of this time together doing a growth journey, all locked in, daily sessions to be able to get you succeeding, templates, rocking and rolling. It is literally there for you. Cool. So coming back into the loop, that, my friends, is the offer that is here for you. So I'd love you all to jump into that. That also is a demonstration of a strategy session. Okay. That's what we want to do. Sometimes it's nice to sit in and actually see it from that perspective as well. So I'm going to take questions now. We'll be finishing at 10 o'clock because I have my drop-in clinics for my clients. But we'll be finishing at 10 o'clock. So if you've got any further questions, great. I'll be looping that offer as an email out to everybody as well. But in the meantime, fire away if you've got anything you'd like to talk about. If you've got a dash, good to see you.
just had a question in the chat about keeping track of all the Trello boards. Presumably, because I think it sounded like you have access to everybody's Trello boards, and obviously when you've got lots of clients, how are you keeping track of that? How are you on top of all that?
So we have a leaderboard that we put out each week, and we look at people in terms of the amount of tasks that they're completing, and also the amount of track sessions they're turning up to. And it's not compulsory to turn up to any of this stuff, but we have a most engaged client. So my team are across those Trello boards, and we're looking at what people are finishing and how they're finishing, etc.
I forgot you had a team.
Oh yes, I'm good, but I'm not that
how the heck
good.
do you manage to keep exactly?
Got gardening and stuff to do as well, so Claire, over to you.
If I can just click the unmute button. So how do you keep on top of your I mean, you've got people doing, but you must have started out at some point. How do you keep on top of your LinkedIn inbox? It's the most chaotic thing. One thing that I've got out of this week is to get in there, and this morning I've been plowing through, like replying to messages that have been there for probably 2 or 3 months. But I don't know if is there a trick? I'd like it to be like in email where you could like put them into folders, but mine's just chaotic.
It's so there's a couple of things. So first of all, getting to inbox 0 every day is really important. So then that keeps you on top of it. So you are the person that's messaged out everybody. So having that $1 million hour and doing that. The second thing is, as we start,
is that just watching out for the you being the, when it says you and then the message. So it's getting everybody, all of them to say,
everybody to say you.
Person.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. The next thing to say is that obviously through the automation tools, you get dashboards where you can tag people, you can add people to different campaigns, you can have canned responses. So when you have a similar reply that you send out to everybody, it's there as a template, and you press a button, it just sends it, right? So the next stage, we have something called try it, nail it, automate it, delegate it. So TNAD. So we try these tactics, we nail it. So I'm suggesting if you're getting strategy sessions and stuff and good replies, you're nailing it. So then you can automate it to be able to get as many tools to be able to remove the human as possible. And then you delegate it to someone to actually do those replies for you. So to answer your question in terms of me, I've TNADed LinkedIn, I've TNADed Facebook. So I don't manage my inbox. So one, the automation is doing it all for me to create the opportunity. And two, I have a team member to actually do all the responses.
Okay, cool.
So the leads, so my world is I turn up. So so when you think about how I have time, my time is mental, right? So I have 1 hour drop-in clinic at 10 o'clock every day, and then on a Wednesday I have a 45-minute session with my marketing roundtable, which is my weekly moment. I don't have anything else on for the rest of the week. I'm a man of leisure. And it's because we built out the actual tool, and we built out the tactic, and we built out the team that just delivers the inquiries that we need. So a week like this, where I had,
plenty of time to park up Trevor near the sea and go paddling then, or whatever.
The whole point of being able to work as a founder is that if you have a scalable solution, that doesn't require one-to-one time, if you've got a marketing system, then you should have a very enriched and big set of free time. And Trevor needs his love. So you gotta spend some time there, right?
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, thank you for this week, Richard. I can't afford to take up your program, but it's been extremely insightful. So I don't know if there's anywhere you want me to leave some kind of testimonial, but I've so much has just gone into place. So thank you.
Well, that's the idea, and getting those wins obviously is the start of getting onto the ladder, and then at the right time we're here, right? So it's good.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Look, I've come up to a couple of minutes. I've got time for a final question, and then we can any further, and then we can loop back into the Facebook group. We'll be doing a Q&A session next week as well to help out. But any final questions? Okay, all right. Well, look, big love. Thank you for this week. I hope that's helped. And for those of you that are diving in, great to see you. Look forward to seeing you on the program. If not, I'll see you guys next week for Q&A session. All right, guys, take care. Bye.